Hi, welcome to my channel. This is Seems Easy and I'm Diane. Today I'm going to show you two different types of cloth napkins that can be made with a serger. The first one, we're going to use an 18-inch square cut from a fat quarter. You can do this with any cotton fabric. And we're going to do a 3-thread rolled hem around all 4 edges. Sounds complicated, but it's not. It's very easy. And you will be making cloth napkins before you know it. The second type of cloth napkin I'm going to show you is a flannel 2-sided square, 6.5 inches. These are particularly good for kids. And if you have this type of a napkin holder, the 6.5 inch fits perfectly in here. You can make a big stack of them and they can be washed, dried, reused forever. So stay with me, I'm going to show you how to make both. Okay, you're going to raise your needles and raise the presser foot. And then we have our 2 squares put wrong sides together. This is 6.5 inch square of flannel. And you're just going to slide that in up next to that blade. We're not going to cut anything except the corners. So, and I like to hold on to this. I hold on to this little corner piece to kind of guide it in a semicircle. And you see it's not cutting, it's just we have the flannel right up next to the blade, but it's not going to cut until I get ready to turn. Alright, now we're coming around to the last side, and you find that little tail that you started with, and you're going to hold that out. And then we're going to over sew this about 1/2 inch, and then we're going to turn it 90 degrees and sew off. And you're going to leave about 1.5 inches or 2 inches of a tail to thread back in under the stitching with a yarn needle or a crochet hook. Okay, another option is to use a yarn needle or a darning needle. This is a darning needle. And if you have a needle threader, you can pull this little tail in through the needle with the needle threader. If you don't have a needle threader, with a darning needle, this is easy because you can just use a piece of regular thread, make it into a loop, and just push that loop in. You've made your own needle threader, and then pull that little tail through the eye of your darning needle, and then just guide it underneath these threads. On some of these looper threads, and just pull it through. All right, now you're going to just trim off that end. All right. So there's another finished napkin. Now for the rolled hem, we're only going to use 3 threads. We're going to use the lower looper, upper looper, and right needle. We're not going to have a thread on the left needle. So if you are not running a thread through the left needle, it's best to take that needle out. And up here you see there are 2 little screws, and this is the same way you change your needles if you replace one. So this bottom screw goes to the right needle. We're not going to touch that. And then the upper screw, you see the L here, it goes to the left needle. So I don't know if you have a little device like this. It's a brush with a little hole on the end of it. That is for needle lifting and removing. Now we're going to just slide that up, that left needle, and we're going to hold that tight while we rotate that screw a half turn. If that loosens it, great. All right, so it's loosened it and we're taking it out. Just put it aside in a safe place. Now you want to tighten that screw back as much as you loosened it, but no more, which in this case was a half, because we don't want that screw to fall down into the serger machinery and damage anything. Okay, my serger, this lever is the rolled hem. If I pull it to this position, this is the normal stitch and this is the rolled hem. I strongly suggest that you take a little scrap with squared edges and do this on your sample first to make sure that your stitches are coming out the way they should before you start on your 18-inch squares. Now we're only going to bring this raw edge up to the blade, but we're not going to cut. We're just going to have it right along there beside the blade. Now you're going to start off with your fabric almost under the needle and against that blade. So we're going to go just beyond, we're going to take this edge just beyond the needle and stop. Now raise your needle as far up as it'll go. Raise your presser foot and bring the napkin around so that this stitching, that edge is just on this side of your needle, and lower your presser foot. Be sure that the side is against the blade here. Okay, and then continue. Okay, now we're coming to the end, the last edge, and we're going to just hold this thread out straight so that the blade will cut it, and then we'll be finished with this napkin. Okay, to fold this 18-inch napkin so it will fit into your napkin holder, you're going to fold it up about a third, fold it back down a third, and then a third from each side. And there you go. You can put your stack of cloth napkins in your napkin holder.